Welcome to the Pesky Report, a podcast for Red Sox fans.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 170 of the Pesky Report. My name is Brandon Brower. Joining me tonight, I have the birthday boy himself, Mr. Hogdale, and all the way from Mexico City, Huitzo. What's up, fellas? How's it going?
Hi, everybody. As good as it can be.
As good as you can be, yeah. That's about the state of Red Sox Nation right now. Is we're just surviving at this point.
Gotta say, shout out to the Red Sox. At least the one game that they did win this series was on my birthday. And the Yankees also lost that day. So, the baseball gods came through for me. At the same time, this team fucking stinks, bro. Like, they are not good. This team is not good, bro.
If only your birthday was every single day, then
it
would be great. But that's cool. Hogdale, we are recording on Monday night instead of on Sunday night because Hogdale actually went out on a trip for his birthday and he wasn't going to be back until Sunday. I had plans on Sunday as well, so we talked about it and we're like, yeah, the Red Sox are off on Monday. Let's just put it off till Monday. And then lo and behold, Ed was not able to come on Monday, so we're going to run this one without Ed tonight. So
sadly, the most handsome member of the Sunday pod crew couldn't make it.
So you're stuck
deeply
with us.
Saddened, but we love him.
But we do want to extend our happiness and our congratulations to Ed. He recently had some big news. We'll wait until he's on here to let him talk about it if he wants to. But congratulations to Mr. Ed Hand. He knows what we're talking about. So that's definitely a good thing and something that's great. Something else that Ed's been doing recently is he actually got to be in the press box at Paw Sox game, which is pretty fantastic for the podcast and pretty fantastic for him as an experience. So that's something I look forward to hearing him talk about whenever we get him back on the show.
These Paw Sox that you refer to, I only know of the Woo.
The Woo Sox. Oh man, it's so ingrained in my mind to say Paw Sox. Yeah, you called me out on that one
before in my life. Oh my god,
the Woo Sox. I still can't get used to that. But
he's shook.
I am shook. I feel like I'm a member of the Boston Red Sox. I get nervous when I step up to the plate. I swing at things that are way out of the strike zone. When you
hit the ball, you have the muscle mass of a wet noodle, so the ball doesn't really carry that far.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. I can't figure it out. Oh, this team stinks. To score 10 runs on Friday, let's just get into it. Friday night, the Red Sox scored 10 runs. You would think scoring 10 runs in a ball game, like, oh yeah, chances are
against
you're
the
going to win that
Orioles,
one, right? Yeah. Against the Orioles, scored 10 runs against the Orioles. You think like, oh, that's a dub for the Sox. No, they lost that game. They gave up 15 runs in that same game, lost. Even whenever you do well, even when the offense shows up, the bullpen, the starting pitching, everything just falls apart for the Red Sox this year. That's the way it's going to be. That this season is getting further and further out of reach, and it's at the point now where it's almost a lost cause.
Yeah, it's I had the hopes. Well, if we sweep the Pirates, if we take at least 2 games from Baltimore, maybe we're on the right track. And they couldn't even sweep the Pirates. So
yeah.
It was cool to see Chavis welcoming everybody to first base, though. That was pretty fun to see.
Yeah, he seems like a nice dude.
I was actually a little bit sad when the Red Sox traded away Michael Chavis. I know he has his issues and he tends to swing it at strikes or at pitches that are out of the strike zone, specifically fastballs that are up.
Cannot hit a high fastball to save his life.
It to save his life. But I do think that he was a good dude, and I think maybe I have a special I don't know. I don't want to say connection because I've never actually met the guy, but I was at the game where he made his debut and he got his first double and all that stuff. So I always kind of felt like, oh yeah, like I want that guy to be good. But
Yeah, yeah, and when he gets on, he hits a lot of bombs. It was fun to see him get hot, but yeah. So, and in a day of slow news, Josh Winkowski is going to start tomorrow in place of Nathan Ovaldi.
Who's now on the injured list because this team this year is actually cursed.
Yeah, because Chaim Bloom decided to injure Nathan Eovaldi at the
he's
Little
ruthless
League
this year. Like he's coming like literally,
and Chris Sale, and
he's got the baseball bat, like he's got a cannon of an arm that he's using to like throw balls at players. We've said it for months now. Chaim just needs to be stopped. The dude is an actual menace. This might
be my favorite reoccurring segment on the show is just us talking about Chaim Bloom injuring the entire team.
Yeah, dude, it's fucked up. Like, I don't know why he keeps doing it. Supposedly, this dude's supposed to be the builder of this team, the architect, and he keeps knocking down his own creation. It's just odd. And, dude, it's just rough. This year's cursed. Like, they're not winning anything this year. We're 6 games out of wild card spot right now. To realistically have a chance, you'd have to sweep the next 2 series. Like, which I believe is against the Blue Jays and the Rays, I want to say.
I believe it's the Twins, Blue Jays and Twins.
The Twins? Okay, never mind, yeah. Yeah, like, to realistically have a chance, you'd need to sweep both those. And I really don't think this team has the facilities to do that right now. They don't have it. Rafi's been hitting terrible lately, and listen, I'm not going to get on him too hard. The dude's put the team on his back this entire year. But it just shows when he's not hitting, like the absolute shambles that this team is, like without him contributing. It's just a black hole because Bogarts has the power of a 6-year-old with a sock'em bopper, and JD ain't much better in terms of just pure power. There's no threat in terms of going yard on this team, like outside of Devers. Like the only other guy would be Story, and he's been injured for the past month.
Yeah, he hasn't played since like June, maybe beginning of July. But it is Blue Jays, then Rays, and then the Twins.
Yeah.
So
I was just checking that.
Not looking too good.
No, and also it seems like every time a player starts to getting things right, he either gets cold or gets injured. Like I don't know. Like you say, Hogdale seems like a curse.
Yeah, they're cursed this year. I mean, it was nice to see Kike look good in his return, and we got news about like his injury and that like he had like really bad swelling and like what was it, like his elbow or was it like his hip or something? It's like that makes sense because Kike was really bad to start the year, like even worse than the beginning of last year, which he started pretty rough. So it's nice that you could blame injury on that one, and even based on what we've seen this year, I'd be happy to have him back next year, like 100%.
Yeah.
Even just to be the super utility guy, which he hasn't been because he's been so good in center field.
Yeah, and overall, I think he's a good presence in the locker room. So yeah.
The problem with Kike in that sense is that he wants to be an everyday player. He wants to be a starter. He doesn't want to be a bench utility guy. So if another team comes calling and says, hey, we've got a starting spot with your name on it, he may be more inclined to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, also, if you really want to, you could just give him the center field job. I mean, I don't hate it. I love Kike in center field. The dude's a fantastic fielder out there. His bat's inconsistent, but I mean, we saw him be like the best playoff hitter since Barry Bonds, like last year for a short period of time. So, dude ranks in the playoffs, which is what really matters. This offseason is going to be such a huge pivotal offseason for the Red Sox franchise going forward, because like I've really almost given up on this team this year. Because, like, whatever, even if you do sneak into a wild card spot, you're getting absolutely fucking dusted by, if not the first wild card team, like the Astros or fucking whoever, one of the big boys. You're going to get annihilated. Like, are you kidding me? This team against the Astros? Are you serious?
Even the Yankees at this point, they've cooled off significantly, but they would still completely just destroy the Red Sox. So it's not fun to even think about like a team like this even trying to make that kind of a run, because it's just going to end in disappointment.
It's like, they just they are good enough, partially because of roster construction where there were some holes, partially because the endless laundry list of injuries that just keep piling up. Just when you think it's getting better, it lengthens again. And just partially because the offense the entire year has been ridiculously inconsistent, which was a theme last year as well, but the highs of last year's offense were higher than the highs of this year's offense.
I also don't think that last year, JD, Devers, or Bogarts is this hard as this year. So
and last year was a different beast in and of itself, because for the most part everybody was healthy. This year you're trying to juggle bringing in new guys, plugging and playing basically different positions, trying to fill holes on the fly. And whenever it came down to the trade deadline, Heim wasn't going to go out and be a big spender at this year's deadline because everything was too up in the air. You still had way too many people hurt to fill those holes that, roster management, that's what he would have done at the trade deadline. Had the team been healthy, had the team been surging like it was back in June of this year. It's just been one thing after another with this team. And we kind of saw the writing on the wall, even though nobody wanted to admit it. Now I think everybody's fully accepted their fate.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious as Heim barely made any moves, but yet all the moves he made have benefited the team. Every one of them.
Like, how sold are you guys on Tommy Pham?
I'm pretty fucking sold, dude.
Pretty sold, yeah.
Like,
I was looking at his contract situation, and he signed the deal with the Reds, obviously, but he has a mutual option for next year. I think if the Red Sox don't take that option, they're dumb. And I think he enjoys playing in Boston, so I think he would probably take that option as well. Another year of Tommy Pham sounds fantastic to me right now.
And listen, even if you don't want to make him an everyday player, just like amazing fourth outfielder choice. Amazing.
Oh, for sure.
Much better than fucking JBJ to start the year, gotta say. So, man, it's just the team this year, it really just feels incomplete. Too many holes, not enough depth to, deal with injury. And it's just overall disappointing because, like, obviously this wasn't a go for a year. We've had this discussion before that on, like, the big Kevin Feige spreadsheet-esque from, like, Marvel, where the grand plans are laid out. This isn't the go for it year. Like, the next 2 years will be go for it years. Like, the first 3 in a 5-year plan are building up, getting prospects, assembling, and then the final 2 are the spending years and go for it. And man, I hate having a waste filler year, because at the end of the day, we're still watching all these games. At the end of the day, we're still having a podcast after all these series, and it's like, man, you just trying to waste our time here? Like, come on, dude. Fucking treat us a bit better than that. So I understand why some people are still frustrated. I mean, obviously I'm not on the Fireheim train, but fucking, if the team stinks after next year, yeah, go ahead. Go fuck wild.
And you got to add to those frustrations the fact that the Red Sox were just a couple games away from the World Series last year, whether it was by fluke or some stroke of luck. They were there, and I think the fan base expects that again this year, and they don't want to accept anything less.
They were like one game out of the World Series, and also it's like unanimously agreed upon that they blew it.
Yeah. Like they should have gone to the World Series.
They should have gone. Like, they should have gone to the World Series. They completely fucking blew it.
Now, would they have won the World Series? Who knows? That's up for debate.
Probably not. But
the Braves were just on fire at the end of the year. So
that's a team of destiny. Like it really was, because their run made no sense. It just made zero sense.
Okay, we're going to have a question come in regarding the World Series, it sounds like.
Thank God, because we'd rather not talk about the fucking Red Sox right now. I can tell you that. Give us anything.
Dark Sage is our friend from Twitter that comments on here quite a bit. He's a Yankees fan, so his
Absolute
questions
legend.
are usually pretty fun. Yeah, absolute legend. Yankees fan that watches a Red Sox podcast. I like this guy.
This is my guy.
To your point, Hogdale, about the 4th and 5th year of a 5-year plan. Those are your big spend years. Who do you see as possible free agent acquisitions this offseason?
If you don't want to use Kike in center, Brandon Nimmo is such a obvious fit to go for in center field. The problem is if big money bag Steve is willing to let him go, because he can match and exceed any single offer that the Red Sox can make. And do you think he's going to give a single solitary fuck about the luxury tax? Like he literally laughs at it. Like every single tier of it, he progressively laughs harder, like the further he spends it. It's like, you call this a deterrent? I call this a difficulty tweak. Like, shut up.
It's a good point. I think Kike would probably be a little cheaper, especially coming off the injury-riddled year that he's had. But Brandon Nimmo he's a stud, and a dude that I would definitely be excited to see in a Red Sox uniform.
Let me check out, like, the upcoming free agency class. I remember last year looking at it, it seemed like it was going to be a pretty weak class, at least from what I remember.
But Aaron Judge is going to be a free agent.
Yeah, Aaron Judge, of course, is going to be like the big acquisition of somebody. I can't imagine that the New York Yankees are going to let Judge walk. I think they would take out a second mortgage on Yankee Stadium to keep him there.
Daddy Steve's going to open his Warbucks chest and not give a single shit.
You think so?
Fucking yeah. Well, you think Hal's matching whatever he's spending on Judge?
So you think Judge will go across the city to the Queens? To Queens?
I really, just for the sake of trolling, I really hope it happens, because I think it'd be very, very funny. Especially because it's hilarious, like looking back at the contract they offered Judge before the season, just how much of a laugher that is, like as the season has gone on and on.
Yeah, there's also, I was going to say, I don't want him on the Red Sox, but it will be funny to see the Yankees fans' reactions if he came to the Red Sox or to the Mets.
So many of like the good free agents are like just Mets. I'm like, yeah, you're not going anywhere. Like Edwin Diaz, he's not going anywhere. He just simply isn't. That's like Cohen will throw the bag at him. Going into the season, in the next season, I'd love for them to go out and sign Carlos Rodon. I can tell you that. I mean, I was banging the drum for that last year going into free agency. I was like, you should get this guy. This guy's legit. Hard throwing lefty. A few injury problems when the dude's actually out on the field. He's one of the best in the league. And he's gone out and had another really good year this year, at least from what I can remember.
You know, a guy that I wouldn't mind seeing come play for the Red Sox is Steven Piscotty. He's not the greatest player, but I think he's just an all-around good dude and a fun guy to watch play. When he gets hot, I guess it's kind of like Jackie Bradley in the fact that like he's streaky, but when he gets hot, he's hot. And he's an all-around pretty good outfielder as well, so
he is having a rough year.
A terrible year. So he would be like, you could get him for peanuts, and then hopefully he's one of those Heim Bloom masterpieces where he would bloom into something fantastic. But
Oakland A's legend Steven Piscotty, dude hasn't had an OPS over 800 since 2018.
Do you know the story of how he got to Oakland?
Yeah, it wasn't his mother really sick, and the Cardinals traded him there, like just out of respect, which was a very cool thing to do.
Yeah, his mother had cancer, and he mentioned it to the team like, "Hey, if there's any way for me to get closer out to where my mom is, like I would appreciate it." He's like, "I love this organization. I love everything about being a Cardinal, but I want to be closer to my mom." And they were like, "All right, cool." They made the trade like instantly, and he
And
got
listen,
to be with his mom.
Minus the hacking into other MLB teams' prospect databases, the Cardinals are a pretty classy organization. Like, genuinely. High class team, really well run. It's just hilarious that was probably the biggest cheating scandal of the last decade or two, and no one gives a shit about it. Like, they hacked into the fucking Astros prospect database.
All right. Let's see. Dark Sage came up with this question. It's kind of lengthy. I'm going to put it on the screen for those that are watching, and I'll read it for the benefit of those that are listening on the podcast. He says, "I'm curious this year what Major League Baseball would do for a narrative if we get a Los Angeles versus New York World Series. We all know how big the California market and the New York markets are, and we all know how much the Dodgers and the Yankees are media darlings. How do you spin the narrative for Los Angeles if they lose versus New York, and vice versa of New York loses to Los Angeles?"
They're going to the media's going to pull so heavily from the Dodgers Yankees World Series of like the 40s. When the then Brooklyn Dodgers, especially if the Dodgers lose, because that's just what they did, is they lost like, what was it, like 7 or 8 World Series to the Yankees, and they won 1.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So yeah, the narrative ball, dude. If the Yankees win, the narrative ball is going to be insufferable. It's going to be insufferable, because half the baseball media is Yankee fans or former Yankee players. It'd be like if the Cowboys won the Super Bowl. Like, can you imagine? Like, every single network, like the 90% of the Cowboy either fans or former players that make up every media organization, how insufferable it would be.
I'm not going to derail this conversation too much, but I do want to throw a jab at the Cowboys since you mentioned them. The Cowboys have not won a league. They have not played in a league championship game since 1995. The Jacksonville Jaguars became a team in 1995 and have played in 3 of them. The Jags are always at the bottom of the barrel as far as NFL teams, but yet the Cowboys are still like an elite franchise. So funny to me.
That's really funny. But yeah,
yeah.
I mean, if the Dodgers lose, I don't even really know what the narrative would be, because maybe like the Mickey Mouse ring talk would be amplified. Like, at the same time, I feel like if you're a baseball fan who actually has a brain, you acknowledge that is a really stupid argument. Because really, a Mickey Mouse ring, guys, come the fuck on.
Yeah,
you sure?
Just because they happen to win a World Series in a year that was basically out of everyone's control.
Yeah, in a time where it was really hard for anyone to do anything. Everyone was fucking depressed. No one could go outside. These dudes couldn't go see their family. And you're telling me that it was easier for them. Like, shut up.
Yeah, and we talk about a shortened season, but come on, the Dodgers were going to make it to the postseason 60 or 162 games.
Yeah, like, are we debating that the Dodgers weren't going to make the playoffs if they were it was a full season? You're full of shit. They were easily going to finish first place because, look at the roster.
And look at the decades worth of Major League Baseball records that you can look at. To
look what they're doing this year. They just lost Walker Buehler for the year, and it doesn't even matter.
They're so deep. It's ridiculous.
Like, they just keep bringing up this homegrown pitching. They bring in all these free agent and talent through trading, and that's not even the biggest part of their team, because the majority of the best parts of their team are all homegrown.
Yep, and that's what the Red Sox are trying to get to, but we'll see if they ever do. To go back to Dark Sage's question, I think the media circus before a potential New York and LA World Series would probably be pretty epic. with ESPN and Fox and all these sport networks just going over the top coverage. And for what it's worth, that would be good for baseball.
Yeah,
Putting
and
it
also I
out
was gonna
to the
say,
forefront.
for example, here in Mexico, for people who don't really follow baseball, like Yankees Dodgers series will be, I think it would be a hit. I think 90% of people who watch baseball casually are either Dodgers or Yankees fans. So I think internationally it would be very good for MLB.
100%.
Yeah, I think so. I think it would be good for just getting more casual eyes on the product. And you've got so many stars that would be in that World Series. Judge making his that would be his first World Series appearance. You got Mookie, you got Freddie Freeman back to the second World Series in a row for
Clayton
Freddie Freeman.
Kershaw.
Going back at it for another ring. You name it. Like that. Basically, the Dodgers are a who's who anyway right now. So it would be a pretty fun one.
No one's stopping the Astros.
That's a good point, though. Yeah,
not a single fucking team is stopping the Astros.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's not going to be the Yankees and the Dodgers.
It really is nothing against the Yankees.
It's going to be the Astros.
I just think the Astros are so much better than every other team in the American League. I really don't think it's close.
Yeah, I honestly believe it's going to be Mets Astros.
Mets and Astros?
Yeah.
God, if they could just keep DeGrom and Scherzer ready and healthy for the postseason, it's so dangerous. Like, that's just two pretty much guaranteed wins right there. DeGrom, Scherzer back-to-back. That's unreal.
If not guaranteed wins, it's at least guaranteeing 2 games that you could potentially win.
Like, if you score more than 3 runs, you're winning those games.
Which that's always been a problem for DeGrom in his career. He gets 0 run support. Which he's a guy that can opt out at the end of the season and be a free agent. That would be a monumental change if he were to go somewhere.
I'm saying he can, he will, and again, he ain't going anywhere because fucking Daddy Steve's going to pay him $1 billion and laugh at all of us.
Must be nice to have like a checkbook that's that deep.
It's literally like the actually good version of George Steinbrenner. He's literally George Steinbrenner, except he's not a massive fucking cunt. Like, genuinely, because if you look like the shit that George Steinbrenner did, the dude was a total asshole, like moody, impulsive. Steve Cohen, like rest in peace, exactly. Steve Cohen, he does the good owner thing, which is he gets smart baseball people to run the team, gives them unlimited budget, and says go wild.
Yeah,
like that's what the best owners do. Get out of the way. Open the checkbook and get out of the way. It's not hard.
Yeah, here. Buy us a winning team.
Yeah.
Make our fans happy.
Hey Steve, is this going to be good on the budget? And like that's the first meeting, and Steve just starts laughing maniacally. He's like, "What do you mean budget? Fucking here's a blank check. Go nuts." No, here's an entire checkbook full of blank checks. Go nuts.
So yeah, I think you're right about the Astros. I'm not completely sold on the Mets yet, but the NL will be fun to watch as it dwindles down. But I think the American League is
also the Braves are really fucking good right now.
They are really good, and that they're that team that you don't want to count them out if they're hot in the postseason.
Yeah,
they've got some good ball players.
Well, and you got a 1-2-3 pitching wise of what Fried, Strider, Morton. Like, dude, that's amazing 1-2-3, and then that lineup depth where you got Acuna, you got Austin Riley. I assume they'll get Ozzie Albies back by sometime in the postseason, or was he out for the year?
I'm not sure of his injury status right now, but
I could double check.
You didn't mention Olsen.
Yeah, Matt Olson, fucking the guy they just signed to a big contract. That young guy, who the hell's his name?
Oh yeah,
he's the rookie who's having an amazing year.
so they signed him for like the next 4,000 years for like 27 cents.
Yeah, for $2. Yeah,
How do they keep pulling that off?
I don't know, and I'm so tired of it, dude. It's
like,
such fucking horseshit. Michael Harris,
that's right. How did Acuna not be like, hey, don't do it?
Like, just stop it. Cease action. Like, you're not going to win. Ozzy Albies injury, because he might be out for the year.
That sucks. But they also won the World Series last year with Acuna on the shelf for the year, so
they sure fucking did. It's a Jones fracture, so it's not 100% known. Okay. If cross sport reference, Kevin Durant years ago had a Jones fracture and it kept him out for like 4 months because it's just a really fickle bone. It's a bone that's like right in the middle of your foot, so it's hard to tell like when it's going to heal and how long it takes to heal. It's just very very fickle.
Okay.
You guys want to look ahead to the Blue Jays series?
Bro, they're gonna
I guess we have to.
Creamed.
Yeah, I guess we have to.
I mean, I guess.
I mean, we already talked about Winkowski's getting the start, called back up from AAA. Worcester, not Pawtucket.
Worcester.
He got recalled because Nathan Eovaldi is going on the IL most likely, and he is unable to make this start. So we're going to get Josh Winkowski taking the ball tomorrow night. My source says TBD. Does anybody else have a better source for who the Blue Jays will have out there?
I also have TBD, but who started for them their last game?
Let me try to find them. We're very prepared on this podcast.
I would say professional. Yeah, the Pesky Report, known for being the single most professional Red Sox podcast. You know, we really have our shit together. Really
hands
prepped.
Down.
We do so much show prep, guys.
We don't wing it. We come out here. We know the stats. We know the hard hitting questions that we want to ask.
It was Manoah.
It was Manoah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God we
actually
see Manoah this series.
Didn't he got into an argument with Garrett Cole?
Yeah, Garrett Cole, the fakest tough guy in the fucking history of planet Earth. Yeah, I'm sure you totally want the smoke, dude. The guy who's fucking crying for Pete's sake after, like, the dude who gets rattled by Kermit the Frog Muppets. Yeah, sure, dude. Yeah, you totally want to throw hands. I believe you, man.
Well, at least we're not gonna see Manoah.
Yeah, that's a plus.
Thank fucking God, because he owns us. Worse though, probably going to see Gosman, and he owns us harder.
I was going to say, like, that's a double-edged sword, though, because we're going to end up seeing one of the other guys that absolutely own us.
It's triple TBD. So you're going to see Manoah in one of those games. You're probably going to see, like, Ryu in another one. And who else do they have on that staff?
Gosman.
And by the way, whatever game Gosman pitches, we're losing because he owns us so fucking hard that it's not funny. It's genuinely not funny.
Our hitters just cannot touch anything that he throws, and he'll go 7-8 innings deep, and it's like, well, we got an inning to try to hit the bullpen.
Okay, yeah, we'll probably see some combination of Gosman, Barrios, and
Barrios.
Gosman, Barrios. Maybe Stripling. They moved Kikuchi to the bullpen, so won't see him.
And we're going to trot out there Winkowski, probably Waka, Rich Hill.
Michael Waka is the one diamond on this pitching staff compared to a bunch of
Pivetta?
turds.
I know Pivetta pitch.
Pivetta just pitched.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Mitch White.
It'll be Waka against Gosselman, so that
pitching duel. Let's go.
Oh, this is not going to be good, fellas.
Listen, man, like I'll come back with hope again if they sweep, but they're probably not going to because this team's in shambles.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. You guys got anything else you want to add? I know this has been kind of a doom and gloom episode, but
Downer episode.
Not really much to report on. The Red Sox stink.
Yeah, they're 6 games back of a wild card spot, and we're running out of time.
They're 6 games back of a wild card spot in a year that they've added an extra wild card spot.
Yeah. It's just their luck. Go ahead.
They're looking desperate. I think that's the issue with Devers mostly. I think he knows he's like the only good player on the lineup, and he's trying too hard. He's swinging hard at everything. He doesn't have any patience. And I feel for him, you know.
His patience is really their problem. Like, for some reason, he keeps swinging first pitch when he's facing a bunch of scrubs who are terrified of him. Like, Ravi, just take the first pitch. They ain't throwing you a strike, dude. I'm guaranteed they aren't going to do it. They won't. They are fucking terrified of you. Just be patient. You know, get ahead in the count. You're looking like Xander out here falling down 0-2 all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you guys. What did you think about the Red Sox and Orioles playing at the Little League Classic, the Little League World Series ballpark?
Pretty cool. The Orioles
I think it was
account,
sweet.
Yes. Orioles Twitter account had the best roast of the night and said, "Oh, we're playing in a Little League park tonight." I mean, usually that means we're playing against the Yankees, but whatever. We move. So that was great.
That is a classic roast job. I like that.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. I enjoy a lot of these one-off like special venues that Major League Baseball has been playing with in recent years. Like I enjoy the Field of Dreams game. I thought that's a cool venue. I enjoy when they go to London. I enjoy when they do this special kind of stuff. You know, going back to what we were talking about with the potential of a Yankees and Dodgers World Series, getting more exposure and more eyes on baseball. Any way that they can do that is good. And you've got 162 games in a regular season. Why not make a couple of them special?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think they should come to Mexico more also.
I agree.
And in general to South America, to the Caribbean, they have a big fan base down here, and I think they should take advantage of it more.
I agree too. I think they definitely should. I mean, you can look around the landscape of Major League Baseball and see the influence of the Latin American players, the Hispanic players all over the place. So why not cater to those fan bases a little bit more? Take those talents and let them be the superstars that they are.
Well, 90% of the young stars are, Latin American, that kind of area. It's just where the future of baseball is heading. It's more international. The game keeps growing outside the United States, which is really cool to see. It gives us hope. Like, people who say the game is dying, it's just simply not true. Like, it's not growing as fast as it should in the United States, for where it used to be. But internationally, the game has never been in a better spot.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it was sweet seeing the big league players hanging around with little leaguers. I think all around it was very nice. The games, all the events they had planned for the kids.
What I didn't like about seeing it was seeing Nathan Eovaldi sliding down the hill box, and then like 5 minutes later hearing that he's going on the IL. That's a bad look. But I do want to let everybody know 693 just happened. Albert Pujols is 7 away from 700.
Oh my God.
God, I hope he does it. I really always thought it was a fucking dick move that the Yankees never put like A-Rod in like for the last few weeks to like let him get 700.
He ended up with like what 696 or something.
Yeah, he was 4 away.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you doing? And the Yankees that year didn't even have anything to play for. It was a loser move. And God, I hope Albert can get 700. Dude deserves it. He's maybe the best right-handed hitter ever. I mean,
yeah.
I know like a lot of younger people, like who are younger than me, didn't get to see Albert Pujols' prime. The dude was putting up offensive numbers like that were equal to and better than Mike Trout's. Like for a decade, he did that like for a decade. Was one of the most dominant offensive hitters we've seen, and also one of the few people of that era who didn't do steroids. He did it with his own power.
Yeah, and the slowest runner on earth.
True.
Yeah, well, you can't have it all. You know,
yeah.
you got to sacrifice some things. So
how old is Albert now?
He's up there, bud.
42, and based on the rumors that his birth certificate may or may not have been fudged, he might actually be 44 or 45.
Wow.
Oh my wow.
That was a foot out of the strike zone too. For those,
he wants
just the thing that used to happen a lot.
700.
For those that are just listening to the podcast, we are showing the video of Albert's 693rd home run, and it was a solid 10 inches above the strike zone, and he went up there and got it.
Need him to go sicko.
Yeah,
needed to happen.
Look at where that is. Look at where that is. It's at his shoulder,
Albert
dude.
doesn't give a fuck.
That's ridiculous.
You guys probably,
he wants to get to 700.
Oh yeah, he's swinging at everything to try to get to 700. You guys probably never really got to see Kirby Puckett play much because you're a little younger. But Kirby Puckett was that same kind of hitter. Like he would swing at balls at his shoes, at his shoelaces, and he would swing at balls at his shoulder. He didn't care, but he would drive them all over the park. Kirby Puckett was a sight to see back when the Twins were going to World Series and stuff.
So any predictions?
Well, the Red Sox are going to stink. You know, Hogdale said that if the Red Sox happen to sweep, he'll renew his hope and his interest in this season, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's a good likelihood that the Red Sox might get swept by the Blue Jays.
True, yeah. Could happen.
They seem to have our number this year, and with all the injuries and all the bad mojo that the Red Sox have right now, I don't see them being a team to go out there and dominate.
Yep.
Oh well.
Yeah, I see a sweep too, but I hope we at least take one.
Yeah, I mean it would be nice to at least win some here and there just to kind of make us feel a little bit better about this season, but I think it's safe to say that the season's over, boys.
Yep.
Sucks to say. Let us know if you think we're wrong in the comments. Let us know what you think about the Red Sox season. Can they still turn it around with about a month and a half left of regular season? I'm not very positive about it.
Neither am I.
So, all right, you guys got anything else you want to add?
No.
All right. We'll look forward to coming back on here next weekend. We'll have Ed joining us again, and we'll be able to talk about some of his good news, and we will hopefully find some more entertaining things to talk about between now and then. So make sure you like, follow, subscribe, do all that good stuff. The off season is going to be fun for the Pesky Report. We do have some good stuff planned for the off season. Once the season is officially over and everything is all said and done, we're going to have some pretty special episodes, a lot of interviews coming in this off season, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure that you comment and subscribe and stick around, because you're going to want to see all that stuff, especially if you're a big time Red Sox fan and want to get to know the farm system a little more intimately.
Yep.
All right, guys, we will catch you next time. Peace.
Deuces.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Pasky Report. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review.
Thank you for listening to this Belly Up Sports Podcast Network product. Some said we go belly up, so we made it our name, and we're still here.